You can go ahead and thank TikTok for the delay on this one, but here's the very first winner of the 39K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Selkie Above Water. What I get from you is you are a nature lover. Definitely a druid, but very powerful, but still mysterious. Inspiration for your nomadic druid character, Selkie of Shifted Sands. Alright, I'm definitely not in my car. Here's your stats. Pause to read. Selkie of Shifted Sands is a tough desert nomad with good AC, dexterity, and wisdom. You're going to be resistant to fire and poison damage, as well as having tremor sense from living in the desert. You have brave and being sure-footed, meaning you have advantage against being frightened and being prone. You have a couple of desert-themed spells, like shooting fire and summoning giant insects. But the real fun comes with your multi-attack, using your scimitar as well as your toxic sting. That sting attack has a chance to poison as well as paralyze your enemies. And of course your ultimate ability, Shifting Sands. You can mentally control a desert tornado to obscure your enemy's vision and cause damage. Once again, awesome artwork. Congratulations, Selkie. The second winner of the 39K D&D Creator Monster Contest I'm a huge fan of, that is the King of the Nerds 04. I could have gone many routes with this, but I took inspiration from your icon up here and took something a little bit more nefarious, powerful, and untouchable. Which is why I made you into a powerful and charismatic fiend. You are Cedric Harrow. You know shit's bad when an enemy has its own name. Here's your stats. Pause to read. Cedric Harrow is a powerful fiend with good strength, constitution, and charisma, as well as AC and hit points. You're going to be hard to take down with all those damage resistances, immunities, as well as limited magic immunity and regeneration on top of it. You've got a pretty short spell list, but they're all designed to cause pain, panic, and fear. Even though you can fly above your enemies, you're still going to be doing all your damage melee style. You have a multi-attack with your claws as well as your blue fire blade. And of course, your ultimate ability is your haunting laugh. It's gonna cause massive psychic damage and cause your enemies to flee in terror. Alright, I hope I did you justice and have fun throwing it at your players. We're at the third and final winner of the 39K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is the Mommy Wizard Dumpstat Podcast. I mean, your monster was obvious, so here it is. It's a slime puppy! I'm just kidding, man. Like, half your followers wanted me to do that. Obviously, the best class in D&D, you need to be the Angel of Wizards. You are Statter, Wizard Angel. Here is your absolutely ridiculous stat block. Pause to read. A Statter is an angel of pure wizardry who has amazing AC, hit points, and stats all across the board. Just an ungodly amount of resistances, immunities, as well as divine awareness and limited magic immunity. You also have an infinite power well, which means you know all of the wizard spells but can only cast them once per day. When you're not casting every spell in the wizard book, you're using your Infinity Ray, which is a ranged laser attack that causes random damage types. Let's not forget your legendary actions, number 1 being an obvious teleport, number 2, Behold My Glory, which blinds your enemies, and number 3 is the Dump Stat, which reduces the target creature's stats down to 4. What a god complex. We're on to the first winner of the Warhammer 40K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is DM Deviously. You are obviously a veteran frontline warrior with a fiery personality. And that was my inspiration for your Warhammer-themed monster, the Battletech Maiden. Alright, DM Deviously, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Battletech Maiden is a fierce frontline warrior that utilizes no magic at all because magic is heresy. She's got great scores in her armor class, hit points, as well as strength and dexterity. She's brave, meaning she has advantage against being frightened. She's a brute, meaning her melee attacks are going to be doing extra damage, as well as being a ranged weapons expert, meaning she can shoot her ranged weapon even only at 5 feet away. And if her AC isn't high enough as is, she can still parry opponents' attacks with her sword. Of which she's going to be using her multi-attack, which she can hit 3 times per round. She has a repeater pistol as well as her classic chainsaw sword. Oh, and her best ability yet is her explosive holy hand axe. It's like a sticky grenade. Mommy? On to the second winner of the Warhammer 40K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Wes Hammer. An absolutely epic man and a pillar of the community needs to have his very own epic monster. And that's why I statted you into a behemoth Grork. You are a Grork Battle Fist. Alright, it's a little bit small because you're a legendary monster, but here's your stats. Pause to read. The Grork Battle Fist is a gargantuan iron behemoth. He's got huge AC, hit points, strength, and constitution, as well as a long list of damage and condition immunities and resistances. Like most giant orcs, he's going to have Blood Frenzy, Fear Aura, Lucky, as well as legendary resistance. Now let's get to his multi-attack with his 2 massive shock tonfas. Oh, and he's going to spin them around to make a huge double ion cannon for a massive amount of range damage. And just when you think he can't be stopped already, he's got his legendary actions. Another melee attack, a charged attack with his tonfas, as well as his seismic tremor. The tremor causes massive AoE damage and creates difficult terrain. Alright man, I just hope it's worthy of you. On to the third and final winner of our 40K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Let's Make It Orky. What I take from you is that you are passionate, you're an entertainer, but also a little bit devious. And just like orcs, I think you would look good in green, so you are the Necron Songbird. Alright, let's make it Orky. Here's your stat block. Pause to read. The Necron Songbird is a distant spellcaster and support with good AC, hit points, and an ungodly amount of charisma. Due to its technological advances, it has many different kinds of damage resistances and immunities. Like all Necrons, it has an undead nature, meaning it doesn't require food or drink to survive, nor air or sleep. She has magic resistance as well as a death burst of necrotic damage. All creatures in a 15-foot radius from her are going to take 44 necrotic damage on an unsuccessful save. She doesn't have any physical attacks whatsoever and relies solely on her spells. And her spells are all about damaging the enemy, disabling the powerful ones, or even curing her allies. And when things get too close for comfort, she just teleports away. Could I have your autograph? Hello there. We're doing the monster stat block of the very first winner of the 43K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is HowsLife. The vibe I get from your content is tough, a brawler, urban, and a lover of orcs. And that was my inspiration for your modern sniper, the Orc Deadshot. Alright, HowsLife, here's your stat block. Pause to read. The Orc Deadshot is a stalwart modern sniper. She's got good AC and hit points, as well as solid strength and dexterity, and good numbers all around. She's a city slicker, meaning she has advantage on saves against being charmed, frightened, and she can't be put to sleep, as well as being a crack shot, meaning if her attack roll exceeds the target's AC by 5 or more, she'll add 1 additional die of damage. She's going to do most of her damage from afar with 2 attacks per round. Her deadly rifle shot is going to be doing solid piercing damage as well as knocking the enemy prone. And if enemies get too close, she's got her taser tonfas, which cause lightning damage and can cause paralysis. Because it ain't a gun unless it weighs at least 100 pounds. On to another video being filmed in my car, and the second winner of the 43K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Freddy's roommate. From your content, I take that you're very real, down to earth, and just got classic good guy energy. So that was my inspiration for your gravity-themed superhero, the Gravatar. Alright, Freddy's roommate, here's your stat block. Pause to read. The Gravatar is a tough, good spellcaster with gravity and earth-themed spells. He has magic resistance as well as an ability to corrode metal. Much like Magneto, enemies using metal weapons are going to have a hard time doing damage to him. He also has a small list of innate spellcasting with metal and earth-themed spells. But this superhero always goes on the offensive with his multi-attack from his Force Blast. It's a 60-foot spell that causes bludgeoning damage and can move the target creature around the battlefield. And finally, his ultimate ability, Seismic Waves. It's a 30-foot seismic disturbance that causes bludgeoning damage, causes enemies to fall prone, and enemy spellcasters to lose their concentration. Alright man, this is a cool one. Hope you enjoy your monster. On to the third winner of the 43K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Can Do. From you, I'm picking up several vibes, most of them being tough, tanky, and aggressive. That was the inspiration for your Drow Paladin of Light, Kesta, Paladin of Lux. Alright, Can Do, here's your stats. Pause to read. Kesta, Paladin of Lux, is ironically a Drow Paladin of Light. She uses the thing that she fears the most to damage her enemies. Huge AC, hit points, strength, and constitution. She still has her sunlight sensitivity, but she's got Sunfire armor, meaning anything that touches her or attacks her is going to take fire and radiant damage. She has some innate spellcasting, again all sun, fire, and light themed. She's going to be battling it out in the front lines with her longsword and her shield. Her longsword's going to be doing moderate slashing damage as well as radiant, and she also has her shield bash, which can knock her enemies down. And last of all is her righteous presence. She can fear all enemies in a 60-foot radius. This is beautiful artwork. Go follow this artist on Pinterest. On to the fourth winner of a 43K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Nick the Tiefling. From your content, I'm getting that you're a fighter, resourceful, intelligent, and very persistent. That was my inspiration for your long-range damage-dealing artillerist, the Hextech Lancer. Alright, Nick the Tiefling, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Hextech Lancer does all of her damage from afar, but is very tough and tanky in the process. She's got great AC, hit points, and as well as several damage resistances. She has cunning action, evasion, and a very high dexterity to keep her away from danger. She can sense magic, her weapons are magic, as well as having magical displacement, much like a Displacer Beast. All of these abilities combined meaning it's going to be very difficult to hit you. You're going to be staying off the front lines anyway because all of your damage is done from afar. You have a dagger if things get desperate, but you also have your Arc Lance shortbow, which causes piercing and force damage, and your ultimate ability, the Hextech Railgun, which causes a massive 10d10 force damage. Alright, enjoy. Gotta go fast for this 5th and final winner of the 43K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Mr. Kurt Wise. Okay, you were easy, none other than the God Bard himself. But how to stat you? You are the perfectly charismatic support spellcaster. You are the God Bard. And Apollo from Smite. Alright man, here's your stat block. Pause to read. The God Bard is an incredibly powerful support spellcaster. Super fast, huge AC, huge hit points, and nearly perfect charisma, 40 plus 15. He can change shape, has limited magic immunity, and legendary resistance. His God Bard spellcasting means he knows every single Bard spell but can only cast them once per day. Anytime he casts a spell or a Bard spell is cast around him, it creates a healing effect. He's got a multi-tech with his finger guns. He has his godly bardic inspiration, which grants other willing creatures the ability to cast their own Bard spells. So yeah, he's gonna be teleporting and casting spells and shooting everybody with his finger guns. But just like the image, he can summon musical magic notes. And these things have the stats of Devas. Alright, Kurt, enjoy.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.